this movie is for sale for $5.99, which is more than I paid for it. I paid about 25 cents for it, actually. That's something kind of worth noting, actually. I bought this movie in a barn. I literally went out to like the middle of like bumfuck Oregon, and there was nothing except like cows and grass in a barn, and I just saw
and a tape.
Yeah, and I saw a sign that said "Sail Inside," and I was like, I can check it out and risk getting like murdered by someone with an axe in there, but I
come into this dark barn.
Yeah, I went in there and they mostly just had like car parts for sale, and they had a stack of I'm not kidding. They had a stack of VHS tapes and mostly stuff that was like pretty generic, like like
kind of stuff only somebody who lives in a barn would buy,
like Men in Black and like things like I guess things you would normally see, but then among them was just this Andrew Dice Clay action movie.
I guess it sort of makes sense that it's basically a Die Hard ripoff. The basic premise is it's Die Hard at a beauty contest, which why a beauty contest? I don't understand what any kind of terrorist would hope to accomplish by, taking beauty contestants hostage. Like, what kind of point is he trying to make?
Yeah, it's a little puzzling, which you kind of expect him to go like the Hans Gruber route, and just be like, well, we're not really terrorists, we're just wanting to we just want the money, we're actually just robbers. And they don't even want money so much, do they?
I don't even remember. I remember there was something like one of the women was the daughter of a senator or something like that.
Yeah.
I think they were trying to get something from the senator, but I can't remember what. It was so confused. It was so poorly established. At no point did I really understand what was motivating the villain or the bad guys or anything. It was just it was a movie that had a premise, and they didn't really even bother to think up a reason for it.
The world's most beautiful women.
Who will be the new Miss Galaxy? It's time to find out.
The underworld's most violent killers.
Sorry, guys, you need a pageant pass to get backstage.
And a beauty pageant where things are about to turn ugly.
Who is that? Something's going very wrong here.
My colleagues and I will now retire to the penthouse where I will make clear my demands.
Why get Andrew Dice Clay to play the Hans Gruber role?
That is an interesting choice,
yeah,
I suppose.
It felt really odd as having him in the movie. I mean, I wouldn't say he's bad in the movie.
That's the most interesting thing about it, is that they get Andrew Dice Clay, which I think he was still doing the Dice character at this time.
Yeah.
But this was one of his first serious roles, I think. He's not playing the Dice Man, he's playing a villain. He's the heavy.
Made in 1994, yeah.
Okay, so about that time.
Yeah. And that's probably what he set out to do. He probably set out to kind of show his acting chops a little bit, show that he could be a menacing figure, and
didn't quite work.
Didn't
quite work. He picked the wrong project.
Yeah, I mean, he's proved it in recent years. He's kind of had a resurgence.
He's been doing some interesting stuff.
He's been doing good work. He's great in Blue Jasmine.
He's in the new Martin Scorsese series Vinyl.
Yeah.
He's got a new television series where he brings back the Dice character, which is kind of sad to see.
Yeah, it's
it just seems like no matter what it is, no matter how bad an idea it was at the time, it's like, if it was a thing from a long time ago, let's bring it back. Let's do it again. That's kind of the trend now.
Which not everyone's digging it. Have you seen his stand-up that he did on Jimmy Fallon?
No.
Is
there an incident?
Well, it not so much an incident, just like a flaccid comeback. He did a 10-minute set that it was kind of painful to watch. It got chuckles at most. His whole shtick was like, Batman versus Superman. What the hell? Superman would kick his ass, and which who's
some wry observational comedy.
yeah. And I watched it on YouTube, and after it was over, I glanced over at the the likes and dislikes, and it has more dislikes than likes at the time that I saw it. So I was kind of like, eh.
If there was one thing that I was grateful for about this movie, No Contest, it's that he's not doing the Dice character, but he's basically still, kind of a slimeball pig anyways.
Yeah, he beats the women, like, because he's holding the hostage.
Right, yeah.
The whole pageant, basically, all the contestants.
Yeah, all these beauty queens. So there's all these beautiful women.
Yeah.
And then all of these, like, tough guys like Andrew Clay, and there's like the crazy hippie with a Grateful Dead t-shirt.
Yeah.
And there's like the androgynous punk guy with like the piercing, like an eyebrow piercing, I think.
Yeah, which also in his crew is Roddy Piper playing the character of Ice.
And Roddy Piper as Ice.
Yeah, and I mean Roddy Piper again is I've always kind of liked Roddy Piper.
He's an enjoyable script. Like wrestlers, like they know how to be theatrical and entertaining. So Roddy Piper is almost always fun to watch on screen.
Yeah.
None of the villains are particularly threatening. Like, when Andrew Clay first comes on, he's got, like, this wig on for no reason. You remember that?
That's right.
He comes on, he's got this black wig, and then, like, when he takes everyone hostage, he pulls the wig off to reveal the exact same hairstyle, but just with a receding hairline.
Why would you would think if he was trying to disguise his appearance, he would get a blonde wig.
Or something.
Yeah. But instead he chooses...
Mustache?
Yeah.
Or maybe I think he does have like a mustache or something, or a goatee.
Something...
I can't remember.
Something that doesn't hide his appearance much. Like, you recognize immediately that it's him. Like, there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And then, like, he rips off the wig as if it's supposed to be a reveal of something, but it's no different, except you realize that he's like, instead of being like in his 30s, he's in his 40s. Like,
Each of these devices contains an explosive charge. If any of you leave the range of the other wristbands...
The other like major star of the movie is Shannon Tweed, a former Playboy playmate,
wife of Gene Simmons.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And she
plays like the Bruce Willis role. She's the beauty queen that has like a martial arts training.
She's like a martial arts star. She's
she was apparently like her character was in some movies, and she can kick some ass. So she's the one that breaks off and starts beating some guys up, and is like the one inside. Like all the cops are outside, bumbling around like, oh, what do we do? And then she's the one inside like, I'm gonna have to take matters into my own hands. So like, okay, that's like a potentially fun premise. You could have like a feminist sort of theme, but like this somehow manages to be like an idea that sounds like it's trying to empower women, but basically just degrades them the entire time.
Yeah, as you were saying that, I noticed the quote at the top. It says, "A beautiful woman can stop more than traffic." Kind of the double.
I love
standard
the fake. The double standard. Yeah, but I love the fake quote on the front too. This is it's in quotes and it's attributed to nobody.
Yeah.
You want to read that?
A roller coaster ride of full frontal high octane action, in quotations. Nobody is quoted saying it.
Nobody attributed to that quote. And what does that mean? Full frontal action. I do not understand that.
I think it's trying to get the potential of nudity in your brain.
Yeah, which
Shannon Tweed's in it. Like maybe I'll see the boobs, and then you don't.
Yeah, I don't recall any nudity in the film.
Yeah,
and there are a lot of like beautiful women, like the beauty contestants, are beautiful women. But I gotta say, I think the hottest one in the cast was that punk guy. Like, he was pretty hot.
Yeah, he was.
I think he was the sexiest
He
one.
really had it going on, yeah.
That guy, he's like, when they're establishing Shannon Tweed as like this badass martial arts star, he describes her as Bruce Lee with boobs, which basically makes her Steven Seagal.
Yeah, that's right.
And a luxury high-rise hotel transformed into a towering high-tech hell.
Here we go, boppers!
Should I read the back? Actually, you should read the back this time.
I'll read the back?
Yeah.
Okay. Andrew Dice Clay leads a group...
I thought he was trying to get away from the dice thing. What the hell?
Every time I think I'm out, they pull me right back in.
It's like they don't put it on the cover.
Yeah, he's just Andrew Clay on the front.
So they fooled him to think, no, we didn't put the dice thing on there. We're not calling you Dice. And then they betray him on the back.
Right. Andrew Dice Clay leads a group of deadly terrorists who take over an international beauty pageant, wire the building with explosives, and demand $10 million in ransom. Okay, so they are trying to get money, apparently. They'd thought of everything and left nothing to chance, but the one thing they didn't count on was a beautiful and seductive lady who knows that a woman's place is in your face.
God.
Sexy Playboy Playmate of the Year, Shannon Tweed co-stars as the former pageant winner who leads the defense against the ruthless Clay. Robert Davi is Tweed's link to the outside police, and together they join forces in this non-stop action adventure.
It's co-starring burn victim Robert Davi.
Yeah. He does have the skin of a third-degree burn victim.
Or just the worst act, like him and Edward James Olmos should do a movie together, like
called Burn Ward.
Yeah. Or like acne scars or something.
Explosives have been linked to the intruder alarm system. $10 million in diamonds will be delivered to this building, or a new Miss Galaxy will be elected by process of elimination.
You know, the funny thing, too, is Roddy Piper as Ice, and his character is killed by Ice, as you reminded me before we did this.
Oh,
which is great the way that's set up, because it's like after she's already killed like a couple guys, and so Roddy Piper has like two of the women like hostage in an elevator, and she's like trying to figure out how am I gonna save these two, and then she's at like an ice machine, she's kind of like cooling herself off, and then she looks at the ice and she's like, like you think, okay, she's forming a plan, like she's gonna like put the ice on the ground, so like make him slip, or she's gonna do something like that, you know, something clever.
Yeah.
And then the elevator doors open, and she's just got a bag of ice, and she just starts fucking beating Roddy Piper with it.
It's the most like...
The way that's set up is like, and then just ding.
It further perpetuates like the fact that they're trying to make her badass, but totally diffusing all of it. Because it just makes her look like a dumb blonde of like, oh, I have an idea, and then like a caveman is
like beat the guy with ice.
Yeah, it's so bad.
Let's go, come on. Looks like I iced ice, huh?
I remember there just being like dumb fight sequences. The very first fight sequence where she reveals her kind of kung fu skill. At first, naturally she seduces like one of the guys. I'm like, hey, which I never understand why like bad guys would fall for that.
Yeah, they're always like, oh yeah.
I find terrorists sexy, and they're like, yeah, you do, and they're.
I'm totally confident in my ability to attract you in this situation.
Yeah, like why would they think that a woman would be so shallow as to like come on to a man who's holding her hostage?
Right.
Like,
who's killed her friends? Because they kill a
in
woman
front of her.
Yeah, They, when the beauty pageant is still on the air, like right after they announce the winner. Like Andrew Clay comes on, I'm taking these women hostage, and to prove that I'm serious, boom, he kills one of them.
That's right, yeah.
He kills a woman at the very beginning. And then like, you know, it's pretty hot the way you killed one of my friends.
Yeah. And so then they go to this secluded pool where no one's watching them. And then he like pulls down his pants or whatever, and then she just like kung fu kicks him, and he falls into the pool.
Beats the shit out of him. He's floating face down in the pool. You're like, oh, okay, he's dead. And they don't even have like a reveal like where he comes back. It's just like he runs into a room like, she got away.
Yeah, that's right. But then later in the movie, you find out that he has the detonator.
Oh
like,
yeah, and
it's on his pulse.
Yeah, it's wired to his nervous system or something. So like when his heart stops beating, the explosives in the building go off.
Yeah, and so Dice Clay, when he finds out that he let her get away, he's like, I should kill you. He's like, haha, you can't kill me, because if you kill me, then this building will blow up.
Right. So you think there's gonna be some like a conflict.
And you're like, oh, okay, so he has to they have to deal with each other.
Yeah, there's gonna be like all this contentiousness and all this friction and drama to the movie.
And then in the matter of like 5 seconds, Andrew Clay turns to the tech nerd.
Yeah, the punk guy.
He's like, hey,
hey, disconnect this thing that's on his body. Okay.
Yeah, and then he's like, is it done? He's like, yeah, and then he shoots him.
No, put it in my body.
Yeah. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, this movie feels very cheap in every possible way. There's even one shot where you just full on see a boom mic in the shot. Right.
Yeah, there's just clearly not much care and attention. That's, I mean, and it is.
The style of it too, the style of the action scenes. You remember, there's all this slow motion that is used. Like this director, it's Paul Lynch.
Paul Lynch, yeah.
Apparently, he thinks he's Sam Peckinpah because every single scene of like violence or anything even vaguely resembling action, he uses all these high-speed cameras to do like slow-mo stuff. So like in the fight scenes, you know, it's kind of like, okay, you know, doing a fight scene, you show like a guy getting kicked in slow motion, but then it's like it's used in the most inane ways too. Like when I think it's when Shannon Tweed first escapes and like they tell Andrew Clay, and then it's like she got away, and then he's like, "Arr!" And he like starts hitting all this stuff on like a dresser drawer or like on top of a table. He just starts smashing stuff, and it just cuts to slow motion, like.
If you're gonna do it in slow motion, he's got to break the table, something that's kind of dramatic.
Yeah, something
it's
like big.
Because in slow motion, it just looks like he's like bumping
pistol
into
whipping
it.
a vase.
Yeah, it doesn't even. You don't even feel an impact.
Yeah, it's like you got to feel like the violence of that moment, and just slow motion is entirely inappropriate. But it's like the director thought, like, no, this is like we got to slow it down because that's what other directors do. They'll make it look like John Woo or something.
Yeah.
Now the terrorists have run into the one thing they didn't count on. A lady who knows that a woman's place is in your face.
Did Robert Davi do anything in this
I don't
movie?
remember Robert Davi doing anything. Like, he's supposed to be like one of the bodyguards. I think he's the bodyguard for the girl who is the senator's daughter.
Yeah.
And he's got like an old injury, so he walks with a cane. And...
Which they make a lot of gimp jokes in this movie, which is kind of upsetting.
He like steps out to like smoke a cigarette, and it just
almost destroyed this.
Wouldn't have been a terrible tragedy, but yeah.
No.
But he steps out like for a cigarette, and then he gets locked out because like he doesn't realize like you can't get back in when you step outside. So he's a great bodyguard.
I forgot about that.
And then that's when Andrew Clay, springs his trap, takes everyone hostage, and then he's kind of stuck outside, talking with Shannon Tweed, but like he doesn't really do much. No. Not even Shannon Tweed really does much.
No.
Like she's pretty much just as much a victim as all the other women in the movie.
Yeah, she
doesn't become an active character until like 40 minutes into this thing.
Yeah.
And even then she's kind of like, "Ugh, I don't want to do
like
this."
2 people die before she actually thinks maybe I should take action. Maybe I should use some of my my knowledge of martial arts to try and get out of this.
She'd do something to fight back. And even then, she'd just like, "Oh, I can't do it." Robert Davi's got to be like, "No, I believe in you. You can do it." It's like, well, if a man thinks I can do it, it's like, how does this movie take like an empowering premise and just turn it into the most misogynist, chauvinistic thing you've ever seen?
You put Andrew Dice Clay in it. That's what happens. Yeah.
I don't want to put all the blame on him, but
I mean that's his character though.
Yeah,
that's
but
what he is.
Like the writing, the directing, I mean everything is just so miscalculated. They seem to have no idea what they were doing, and it's not even if they were going for exploitation, it's not even good exploitation because there's no nudity, there's not even really any violence that I can recall.
Action, yeah, it's really
it doesn't work, as a progressive movie. It doesn't work as an exploitation movie. It doesn't work as anything. It doesn't even work as a Die Hard ripoff.
No,
because there have been many Die Hard ripoffs. And I guarantee at least 90% of them are better than this.
Yeah. The only thing that authenticates it is the fact that Robert Davi was both in Die Hard and in No Contest. That's really the only thing that's makes it feel somewhat like it has some legitimacy. But there's really nothing else to it.
Starring Robert Davi of Die Hard, Andrew Dice Clay of The Adventures of Ford Fairlane, and Playmate of the Year Shannon Tweed, like you've never seen her before. No Contest, now on video cassette, exclusively from Columbia TriStar Home Video.
Remember, a woman's place
is in your face.
I'm hungry.